Welcome, everybody. Today, we have a guest that doesn't need an introduction. You will be seeing this guy everywhere, jumping on every podcast, every webinar, every partnership opportunity that you would see. You will find a name that is Nick Penev. So, I don't need to give introduction about this guy. I would like Nick to give a brief introduction about himself and how he ended up on this amazing partnership venture as well. So, over to you, Nick.
Thanks, Dan. Actually, you're totally wrong, man. I meet 40, 50 new people every month. I do
Wow.
stuff with people that never heard about me. So, I mean, that's a wrong assumption. If somebody thinks that everybody knows them and they cannot learn anything, then they're going to go down. So, my mindset is that I don't know anybody and I know
Exactly.
nothing. So that's why I keep on actually meeting people, doing stuff with them
Mhm.
just to get smarter, because I'm not
Mhm.
going to get younger. That's for sure. So just to introduce myself, for those who've never met me yet, but of course we can always meet in the future. I'm Nick Penev. I'm the co-founder of Xtreme Power Brands. I'm the founder of eCommerce in the 10 by 5 hack series and scale, and also I'm the partnership advisor at Tax and 40 other companies in the e-com space, mostly in the Amazon space. I've been selling online or never on Amazon, by the way, for 10 years. Then something happened and I actually dived into partnership like 4 years ago, but that's for later on. Right now, just to
Nice.
summarize what I do partnerships. I advise companies how to grow through partnerships. I organize a lot of webinars, events. I've hosted and participated in over like 300 webinars, podcasts, and events with partners. And last but not the least, I've been remote since 2010, long, long before it was cool. I spent the whole summer on the beach. I wish I can spend more the whole year, but my wife tells me that kids need to go to school. I don't agree with her, but nobody cares about my opinion at home. So they're still going to school for now.
Awesome. Awesome.
and
Brilliant.
and that's it. That's it for me. That's my short bio for
That's
now.
not it. Like one could write a book on this, so that's not it. So coming to this, like how did it all started? Like you said, like, you have been doing remote work from 2010 since no one even imagined like remote work would be something. So how did it all started? How did you ended up in Amazon or ecom space? Was it like some training? Was it like something you had from job experience or something like that? How did it all started?
I mean, like in 2010, I was working. Like my first real job was like I started like 2005.
Okay.
I was actually, it was like after university, I dropped out. I came back to Bulgaria because my wife, back then she was a girlfriend, she couldn't get the visa for the USA. So I said, okay, man, screw that.
Hmm.
I'm going home. I'm going to Europe. I didn't tell my parents. I came back to Bulgaria. I took my girlfriend and went traveling across Europe for a few months. Eventually, we settled back here. I got like a job in a company selling dedicated servers and hosting
Mhm.
and all this kind of stuff. And because I've been a sales guy since kindergarten. I'm not joking. I mean, I used to be like a prodigy in
Mhm.
kindergarten. I was painting baddest pictures for the other kids, and I used to go to the course in the local university when I was
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
kindergarten with people in university. But anyways, I mean, one day they didn't publish my paintings in a gallery, and I was told that they're gonna be published. That was when I was 6, and I said, okay, man, I'm done with it. I'm never gonna paint again, and I stopped painting, which is good because all the painters like Van Gogh, they got rich and famous when they die, and I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
fast forward like 20 years after that, now I started my first real job like a sales
Mhm.
guy at a company with like 500 like employees. No, some of were based in San Diego, some in Europe, and because I'm a very competitive guy, I will always want to be first, and I
Mhm.
never stop. I mean, because in most companies they have like a sales quota. You reach your quota, and a lot of guys stop selling. And what I did, I was not happy to be first. I
Mhm.
wanted to make 2 or 3 times more than the other guys. So for 5 years, I was making ton of money. I was like 22,
Mhm.
23. To let you know how much money I was making in my first job, I was doing 5K per month US dollars. That was 20
Wow.
years ago in Bulgaria, where the minimum salary is like $200 back then. So I was making actually more than my parents
Mhm.
combined with doctor. My mother
Mhm.
is a bit. My father is a construction project manager. He was the guy who built the airport in Bulgaria. And
Mhm.
anyways, what happened eventually? All good things come to an end. So even though I was the top sales guy in this company for like 5 years in a row, I was working the red eye shift from 10 p.m. to 7
Mhm.
a.m. And
Wow.
before I started here, I was told, the most anybody has worked at this shift was 3 months. I did that for 5 years, from
Wow.
10 p.m. to 7 a.m. And the reason is because I can sleep during the day, I can sleep during the night, doesn't matter. I don't need to switch schedule. But the main motivation was the money, because we're getting paid 10% of what we did. So I told them, and I was very hungry, I was very young. But eventually, no, they decided to close the company. The company got acquired, and the new owners, they said, okay, we don't care, if those guys in Europe, in Bulgaria, are making a lot of money for the company. We don't want outsourced teams. We're closing anything. And from doing like 5K per month,
Mhm.
I went to zero. It was a big shock for me
Mm.
because my girlfriend, I got married like a year before that. My wife was pregnant. We had a mortgage, and I was said, okay, man, what I'm gonna do right now? And what happened, in life, a lot of times, you get like opportunity. You just need to seize the opportunity. And I got a job like a few months after that in a company doing affiliate and performance marketing in
Mhm.
Bulgaria. And those guys were selling supplement and all kind of offers. They're not actually selling; they're actually promoting them for big US brands. And one of those products was called acai berry. Acai berry,
Okay.
they say acai berry, the magic Brazilian fruit. So this type of products were promoted by Oprah, Dr. Ross, like the magic Brazilian fruit, which is gonna help you lose ton of weight. And I said, okay, man, I like this idea. I mean, I'm gonna buy this product. I'm gonna sell it myself. I didn't know anything about e-commerce.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
just quit my new job. I called my best friend, who was my best man from the wedding. I told him, Lucky, his name is Lucky. Hey, Lucky, he's like a very good guy in IT. I tell, okay, build me a website. We're gonna sell this product. And then what
Okay.
happened? We ordered like 200 units from the UK, and then we resold them like with 3 times like the price that we got. And then no, we made like 3K pretty quickly. And then one of the guys who ordered the product said, okay, man, why are we selling this product? I can buy it for like 3 times cheaper in the UK. You guys are
Mhm.
scammers. And I said, okay, man, we're doing that wrong. We need to make our own product. I had no idea what is private label back then. But I said, okay, we need to make our own products so people cannot go and find them anywhere. So, anyways, I figured out what is this private label stuff. I ordered like a few hundred units from our product, and the first product was called Acai Verde, which means acai green, which
Okay.
the product was like a dried freeze, like organic, all this. I was selling bio products when nobody knew about bio stuff. And one of our companies was actually called Bio Nutritions because of that.
Nice. Nice.
So long story short, what happened? I had to convince my best man to join the company. I showed him, okay, man, this is what we're gonna do. Then and actually convince another guy who is also a friend of mine, who used to be like a lead developer in Google, to actually come and join board because I know nothing about IT design development. So I needed those guys to actually build the company. So eventually, what happened? In the next like 10 years, we managed to develop like uh, 20 supplement brands. Some of them were actually huge success because we managed to do like 25 million with initial investment of 5K euro. That's how much we actually invested in the beginning. 5K, we did 25 million. We didn't know anything, but we were learning along the way. Because
Mhm.
just to let you know how early you were, I was paying 1 cent per click in some markets on Facebook, in Google.
Okay.
So I was spending, let's say, at the beginning, now once we start actually making more sales, we're spending like $1,000 for advertising.
Mhm.
We're getting 1,000 sales and generating 15,000 revenue. I know that you know
Wow.
more about the PPC, so that's a insane ROI. I had no idea
Exactly.
what was my profit margin. I didn't care because we're making so much money. So we keep on actually launching new products now, expanding one market, next market. So eventually we're selling almost across the whole European Union, and we simply use the same uh, model like before. We see a product which is trending in the States, we order a private label version of this product. We start
Okay.
set up the landing page, we do a test campaign. Our supplier was in the UK. We test the product, in 2-3 weeks we get the real product and we start selling. We keep on doing that, adding like actually launching new products every year,
Mhm.
selling
Mhm.
of course the best sellers after that. And but of course, in 2016, what happened? No, Facebook and Google Ads, they don't like supplement brands. No, they still don't like them. So they start actually suspending our accounts. And I said, okay, man, these idiots, are suspending our accounts. Now we need to find another way because we cannot continue like that. They're gonna drive us out of business if we keep relying on those guys. And what happened? I said, okay, we're gonna stop all paid marketing. We're gonna turn
Mhm.
to affiliate and partnerships. And then I actually started doing affiliate and partnership. We built like a network of like 1,000 partners and affiliates and distributors across Europe, and those
Mhm.
guys were getting paid only based on the sales that they delivered to us. So we stopped all paid marketing besides just some Google ads where people are just going to our product page in the different languages just to drive traffic from all the other stuff that the affiliates are doing. And eventually, no, we got into some other business like crypto mining, crypto
Okay.
trading, and all this kind of stuff. And eventually, we decided to sell the company. We didn't have any idea about like aggregators, private equity. We didn't know that we can sell the business. But to be honest, we kept on actually taking money from the business all the time. So we didn't care about that anyway. So what happened is, I sold the business in like 2020, the business with all the brands, and at the same time I was using Hello Tax as VAT components for our brands in Europe.
Okay.
I get to know the founders of Hello Tax, Christian and Christoph, which were actually ex-Amazon sellers, and they told me, "Okay, Nick, you're selling the business, and we know that you're doing a lot of partnerships and affiliates. Can you replicate this business model for us, for a service provider?" And I said, "Okay,
Okay.
man. I'm too young to retire. My wife told me to get a real project now because I lost some money playing with all features. And I'm not saying trading because I had no
Okay.
clue. I lost quarter million playing
Yeah.
a trader with all features. So
Mm.
don't trade with 300 leverage if you don't know anything. So, anyways, it was a good lesson. But and in the beginning, the offer about from Hell Tech sounded a little boring. I said, okay, man, VAT taxes. I mean, this sounds boring. But then I actually started looking into what they're doing, and I saw that many of the partnership that people are doing in the e-commerce space are one-sided. No, everybody would like to get,
Mhm.
they don't want to give anything. And I told them, okay, guys, you're doing that totally wrong. Partnerships is about giving to everybody
Yeah.
that you meet and getting back from some of them eventually. And they say, okay, what the hell are you talking about? No, this is not gonna work. I said, okay, just wait for it, give me a few months, and I'm gonna show. And in a few months, I managed to build a network of like 300 companies. I started actually doing stuff with them. We started doing webinars, all kind of stuff. So everybody started talking about Hello Tax. And then they say, okay, man, this works great. And then a few other partners of mine probably know them, Zone Guru and
Yeah.
Merchant Spring. The founders know they were partners which we acquired for Hello Tax. They told me, okay, Nick, can you actually advise us about partnerships as well? And I said, okay, man, you just gave me an idea. I'm going to set up a business which is going to be a partnership agency, and I'm going to provide a service which is going to be called partnership as a service. And I'm very quick with ideas. I don't think too much for anything. I see an idea, execute right away. So what happened? We start working with them. Eventually, we actually end up working with over 100 companies in the Amazon space, only service providers. So what we do for them? We
Mhm.
help them to connect with partners, and we actually build all the partnership process behind the scenes on how to monetize those partnerships, because meeting people doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you're going to do anything. So meeting people is just the first step. After that, you need to create an action plan. You need to execute the action plan, like we do right now. We're doing a podcast. We're creating some content, which is going to be distributed on your channels, my channel. So people are going to
True.
see that. Some people might find it valuable. Some people might say, okay, who is this guy? No, I don't care. No, there is no bad advertising. So
True.
partnership is a way to advertise yourself to
Mhm.
other clients which you don't know through your partners. So your partners are the distribution model, and the only thing that partnership involves is a lot of work and a lot of time. So there is no money involved. If somebody is asking you to pay for partnerships, this is not partnership. This is a service. So
Exactly.
and that's what we've been doing, for those companies. But on top of that, I actually did something which is totally free. So the agency is my paid service. What I did is I built a network of over 1,500 founders like done who work with Amazon sellers, either as an agency, as a mentor, as a coach, as a SaaS provider, doesn't matter. People in my network help or work with Amazon or e-commerce sellers, mostly USA, Europe. And what we do, we connect people, we do stuff with them like we're doing right now. There's nothing commercial in those partnerships. We meet, we do stuff together. Sound up. Sometimes those partnerships actually turn into a commercial partnership, like a Bizo partnership, or
Yeah.
even more than that. But even it's not. This is not the goal. The main thing is do stuff together. If there is an overlap, we can do more. And this is the goal of the network because I keep on meeting, like I said, like 15 new guys per month. I offer them the same that I offer to everybody. I feature them in my newsletter. I actually add them to my WhatsApp group. I connect them with more people. And the only thing that they need to do is to be active. That's what I tell everybody. My network is free. There is no any membership. There is no any application form. We meet, I connect with people. If you do nothing, you
Hmm.
got nothing in return. As one of my partners saying, nothing comes out from doing nothing. So if you wanna
True.
get something, do something. It's simple as that. And of
Exactly.
course, I do all kind of stuff, but I'm sure you have some questions because I can talk forever, and it's good to have some
Yeah.
questions. Like
We have a
some
comment as
questions.
well, like someone is saying like keep doing amazing work. So he's appreciating the work you're putting in. So thanks to you, Abdul Rahman. I have a question like
I'm there.
how does your day look like? You wake up, you start doing the partnership thing or what? Because every time
No,
I
man.
open Facebook, every time I open LinkedIn, there's one post from you. Every time I open WhatsApp, you're still there. You're everywhere. So how does your day look like being a partnership manager or partnership partner?
Yeah, it's really simple. I
Hmm.
wake up around like 7 a.m. almost every day.
Okay.
If it's during the school year, I take my kids to school. I do breakfast for them. I take one. I live just drop one of the guy in one school, the other in another school. If it's not, if it's not during the school year, no. Actually we spend the summer on the beach, so there is no school. I
Hmm.
wake up, I go and do a run workout. Always no Monday to Friday, I go and run regardless of the weather outside. So even if it's like 30 degrees, plus or minus doesn't matter. I wake up, I do my run, then I come back and I read for a while, take a shower. I don't start actual work until probably 11 or 12.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but you mentioned those posts, so those stuff we always schedule them in advance. So for example,
Makes
on
sense.
Fridays we don't do any meetings on Fridays.
Hmm.
So I work only Monday to Thursday. I do meetings in those days. Friday is the prep work. We prepare the newsletter that my team is actually collecting the actually all the content. I kind of create that. I say what we're gonna actually feature, what we're not, and then we schedule the post for the following week. We have like usually like two posts per day, one in the morning, one in the
Hmm.
afternoon, and then of course, and that's why you keep on seeing me. That's what we do for other clients as well. Anybody who is a client of our agency, we manage their social presence because you might have the best product, you might have the best agency, you might be the best of the best. If nobody sees you, nobody knows
Exactly.
you, and we cannot find you. So partnership is about perception, what people
Hmm.
think. So if people don't see, they cannot actually get in touch, etc. But my day is like very very casual. Like
Hmm.
wake
Hmm.
up, work out. I don't do any like routines or anything, stuff like that.
Awesome.
We go to the beach. Like I told you, in the summer we go to the beach probably twice per day. We do like surfing, windsurfing. So I miss that a lot, to be honest. That's but
That's interesting. Interesting. Um, let's talk about the partnership thing that you have been doing through and building a platform on it. So, the challenges that comes into this model. What are those challenges? Suppose I'm an agency, I reach out to you, and you connect with me some other guy whom I look to partner up, and we have some clash between us. So, how responsible you are, and what are the challenges behind those kind of partnerships?
Okay, cautious. To be honest, when I connect people, I don't care what you guys do after that. That's up to
All right.
we don't track that.
Mm-hmm.
We can the challenges with partnerships are usually the following: that people meet, they chat, and do
Mm-hmm.
nothing after that. So this is the main challenge, the main
Okay.
blocker. A lot of times people don't even want to chat with each other because they think, okay, this guy might be a competitor, or how am I gonna benefit from this guy? So people should change their mindset. Whenever you meet somebody, you should tell them, okay, what can I do for you? When you ask this question, the other guy is gonna say, okay, what can I do for you as well? But if you tell them, what can you do for me? The other guy is gonna say, what can you do for me as well? So the first question is the most important. Do stuff for people,
Hmm.
and they're gonna do stuff for you. Ask people to do stuff for you, they're never gonna do anything for you. So
Exactly.
you just change your mindset. Like right now, you're inviting me to speak in your podcast, so you're doing
Yeah,
a favor to me. So it's more likely that I'm gonna return the favor if you're doing that. So
of
so
course.
that's the mindset about partnership. Do stuff for people. Eventually, you're gonna get a return on some of those, not on everything. So if you think that you need to monetize each partnership, it's not gonna work like that. So I should have like an open mindset. Always be willing to do stuff for people, and of course, if they don't want to do it, it's up to them. You cannot force people, but
Absolutely.
it works very well.
Absolutely. I feel like
In
this is something virtually happening and people are connecting because there used to be like people used to go some events like if there's Amazon space, there's one event happening in one year in another country and there was restriction like many of the people were not able to go there or maybe connect with those people and the platform you have built is such kind of amazing platform where you will find every single person in every single niche, so that's really appreciable, man. Regarding the new people coming into e-commerce, so how do you think like this partnership works for them, like how important is the partnership thing for people jumping into e-commerce right now and what you would suggest to them?
Yeah, partnership is important not only for the
Mhm.
new one, for everyone, because
Okay.
regardless of that, if you're a brand owner or a service provider, each business owner experience issues during
True.
their journey.
True.
So if you don't have partners who can help out, you get in trouble. So now I know so many people that if I knew those guys when I was running my ecom business, I would not do like 25 million. We're gonna do probably 100 million or more. But because I didn't know that those companies existed, some of them even didn't existed, because I didn't have those connections, I couldn't benefit in actually expanding, our actually business, etc. So partnerships are good for a few reasons. The first one is operational.
Okay.
People you can use to actually make your business better, like for example, better PPC software, better analytics software, better like whatever. No, anything that is gonna improve actually the metrics of your brand, because that's the goal for any brand owner. Service providers need partners because it's much easier to find quality clients by doing stuff with people who work with the same type of client instead of doing cold outreach, doing events, or doing paid marketing. So the
Mhm.
best way to grow is partnership. I'm going to give an example. Microsoft set a partnership with IBM. IBM was the big boss back then.
True.
Without IBM, who knows what would have happened with Microsoft. And if you go back in time, all the huge companies, they partnered up with somebody eventually, and some of those partnerships end up being like crucial for them. So that's why it's important for anybody to actually meet people. And my advice is to keep on meeting people. As I call that, pumping new blood in the system, because like in a living organism, you need to breathe. You don't stop breathing. I said, okay, I've had enough oxygen,
True.
you're gonna die. You keep on actually meeting people and doing stuff, because by doing that, you get new ideas, you get solutions sometimes for issues and stuff like that. I'll give an example. One from our members last week, he had an issue with an account suspension in Germany, and I
Mhm.
tagged him with like a few guys in the group, and they couldn't help. So what happened? I messaged 5 guys after that, and actually I got like 3 or 4 replies for people who can help out. So that's why it's good to know people, because you never know who you would need and what you would need. But so that's my advice to everybody. Regardless of how you're gonna meet them, you can go to events, you can go to like
Yeah.
local meetups, you can participate in webinars, meet people, because you're always gonna find somebody helpful. Another thing for the brand owners, there is companies who are gonna be like your distribution partner to other markets. So let's say you're very successful in your market, you don't want to go to let's say Europe or other market just to
Mhm.
stretch yourself. There is companies who are willing to partner up with you and take your business to new markets. So that's why it's good to meet and new people, because that's how opportunities are creating, by meeting people and doing stuff with them.
Cool, cool. I'm sure everyone of us would be, I'm sure everyone would be interesting to know how this whole process work, whole partnership thing. Suppose I approach you and tell me step by step how this thing would work and how you would be connecting me with someone.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to approach people is not to sell them anything, just to add value. So in your case, let's say you would like to meet other people like me who work with Amazon service. So you tell them, hey, John, nice to meet you.
Hmm.
This is Dan. I have a cool podcast. I've had X amount of people on it. I would like to have you as a guest. So what happened? No, you invite them to come to your podcast, then you chat about partnership and you do stuff with them. So the best way, and actually the way to actually get the most like meetings with partners, is to actually give them some value, not to sell your service. Because if you do if you actually do something for people, it's more likely for them to become a client or a partner for yourself. So
Exactly.
if you're asking for what kind of tools, there are all kind of tools you can use, like LinkedIn, of course, for
Hmm.
business partnerships. You can use a tool called Linked Helper, which automates that, and this is the
Yeah.
easiest way to meet partners. And of course you can meet them in person, but meeting them online saves a lot of time, to be honest.
That's an interesting answer. So Nick, what next? Like, what do you think where will you would be like for next after 5 years or after 10 years? So what's your plans?
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan that far ahead. I mean, I'm planning to go to the beach next weekend. I mean, I'm like that, man. I mean, see, usually some
I
people
like
make
it.
long-term plans. I'm not like short-sighted. I'm not just living day for day, but there is no point of doing this kind of planning, because, yeah, what I'm doing fully bootstrap. I don't have any
Hmm.
VCs or funding guys who are gonna tell me what to do. No, the only guys who are telling me what to do are my kids and my wife.
Yeah,
Those are the only guys I listen to. And that's why I've been avoiding funding since I started my business, because people have money. You can find money anywhere. But I don't like, to be honest, for people to tell me what to do. That's why I'm not making any plans. I mean, I'll just give
hmm,
an example. Like few months ago, I decided to do a hack series. No, I decided to start doing that. So right now we make money from those newsletter. I didn't have a newsletter last year. I built a newsletter. It was free for a year. We started making money this year. So I don't think about what I'm gonna do in 5 years, because there might be a world war three, and we might
true.
all disappear. So why should I plan that far ahead? I mean, I don't want to become like a billionaire. I would like to have a balance where I work. I'm not gonna call it work, because I enjoy what I'm doing. I work and I have enough time for my kids, my wife, and myself. That's why I spend the summer on the beach. I try to just to have a balance between life and work. So I'm not sure where we're gonna be. Amazon is gonna be here. It's gonna
True.
be global. More sellers are gonna be selling in Europe, not only spending money on vacation. That's for sure. But
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
else I'm gonna be doing, I have no idea. I'll be
Let's talk
40.
about that as well. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about expansion in Europe. One question and one answer. So, why do you think Europe has more potential than every other continent? So, what's the reason behind that?
I mean, actually, there is more than one answers, but I'm gonna tell one. Actually, there are
Okay.
two answers. The first one is 1% of US sellers also sell in Europe.
Mhm.
1%.
Wow. Wow.
99% of your competitors are not in Europe. I can give you more actually answers, but if this answer doesn't convince you, then you need to go and check yourself. And that's the reason. It's hard, of course, it's harder than the USA, but you have a hard profit margin, because many of your competitors are not here. And you'll be surprised that there is a lot of popular products in the USA,
Mhm.
and there is actually demand for them. Clients are searching for those on Amazon Europe, and nobody's selling them. So even if you're not selling in Europe, my advice is to anybody who is doing well in the States to go and use one of the softwares that you can check out, like the products they're searching, the demand. You can see how many people are searching for your type of product or category, and you'll be surprised that there is demand and you're not here. So there is actually a void in a lot of categories. And the reason for that is because USA is easier. It's one
Yeah.
country, one language. But Europe is not that far behind. I'll just give an example. like USA has like a 400 billion, I think, is this are the annual sales.
Yeah.
In Europe, I think they're around like 100 billion. In
Wow.
Europe, is twice the population of the USA, and it keeps on growing in a high rate. So eventually, it might happen, because they're saying that it's gonna grow in like double digits. Eventually, Europe is gonna be bigger. So if you're not in Europe, you're gonna be missing out, especially if you're established US brand doing millions
Yeah.
or 1+ million in the States. We've seen some companies who come to Europe who are actually doing more than they do in the USA. And the main reason for that is lack of competition. That's it.
Makes
So,
sense. Makes sense. Okay, awesome. I think we are about to end this podcast, and we have a couple of comments that I would like to highlight here. There's one comment from Binte. Inspiring journey, Nick. I really appreciate the hard work and effort you're putting into this podcast. Great job. Keep it up. Good one. So there's a
thank you,
compliment for
Bente.
you. Um, so regarding this, like you have a lot of experience in life, in business, everything, whether it's family or anything. What advice you're going to give your younger self? Maybe let's say you are in 20s, and what advice you're going to give yourself? So let's go back and give yourself
Yeah,
an advice.
yeah, man. Advice. I mean, don't drop the Bitcoin project in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another story. No, we started building like a desktop app in 2013 when
Mhm.
Bitcoin was at thousand.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was like $1,000 with one of my friends. The guy who was doing working as the guru, the one of the covers, and we were planning to build like a desktop app which is gonna mine Bitcoin when you were just browsing.
Okay.
We built up, we're about to launch that, and actually this was one of the big like bear seasons. So Bitcoin dropped over 200 and said, okay, this is like a scam. We're gonna drop the project, and that's it. I mean, and we kind of missed on a huge opportunity. But besides that, I don't think I'm gonna change anything.
All right,
Uh,
all right. That's fine. That's fine. So, people would like to know how to connect with you, how to find you. So, can you please let us know, like, how to connect with you and where they can find you?
you can always message me on LinkedIn. I hang out there, during the
Hmm.
day. Just message me. I connect with everybody. So uh, no, it doesn't matter if you're like a one-man show or like a
Hmm.
1,000-man show. For me, all people are the same. I never make assumption. Being a
Awesome.
small partner, just somebody who's just starting, will meet you. I don't discriminate. No, for me, everybody are equal. It's not important who you are, but what we do with you.
True.
So even if Jeff Bezos no gets in touch with me, I'm gonna meet with him. I'm not gonna say no.
Who would say no to him? So, yeah, brilliant. All right, guys, I would like to end it here, and thank you so much, Nick, for coming and giving your time. And it's really interesting that we came to know about your story, the background, and everything that you discussed. It was totally worth it, and I really thanks to everyone who joined us, who listened to this podcast. And I think this is the podcast who has got the most engagement. So I would share the stats with you as well. Thank you so much again, Nick. And thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.